10:44. This is the Lowdown with Low Tide. We've got cloud cover, but the playoffs this week, so it's all okay. They're saying highs like 10, 11. That'd be very nice. Notice the melting going on outside? Pretty soon we'll be mowing lawns and yelling out our windows because the Oilers have scored in the playoffs. It's been a while. As you know, if you're a longtime listener to the show, you know that we talk a lot about procurement, getting young players drafted, signed. It's a big part of any sports franchise, no matter what the league. And, of course, we talk a lot about hockey here. So I was very interested in the developments with a site called Roster Point. And we have Bryan Brant from Roster Point to tell us a little bit about. It's been up for a while, but it's had a new kind of morphing into a new idea here, and this is going to be interesting, I think, for you to listen to and maybe check out at rosterpoint.com. Bryan, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Alan. How are you?
Good. What does Roster Point provide for a player or a prospect who wants, obviously, to know what's out there for him?
Well, I think at the end of the day, we provide hope to a lot of players, players that, didn't get drafted for, whatever reasons. There are numerous ones. We provide a neutral platform for players to communicate with recruiting teams. And ultimately, it's a place to promote themselves. A lot of players and parents don't promote their skill. They spend thousands of dollars at, camps during the summer and skating coaches and all that kind of stuff, but then they don't promote, the new skills that the player actually has. So there's lots of teams out there that are looking for these players, and so it's really a place to promote their skills and talents, and we provide the hope and hopefully the dreams and real opportunities.
How many potential managers or teams in different leagues would they have access to, or might be able to click on their profile?
Well, as you mentioned, we are a fairly new site. We really just got going in around November of last year. We preloaded 15,000 teams into the back of the website. My son actually did that as a summer job. From novice to the pro level. We send player showcases out, which are just lists of player profiles out to every junior team in Canada and U.S., every NCAA team, every ACHA team, prep schools, and we also send information out to minor hockey associations, AAA teams that are looking for players, that one special player, to finish off their roster can use Roster Point. So we get the information out to a lot of potential teams, but as I said, we're new, and it's going to take us a little bit of time for them to find out who Roster Point is and what the value is.
Is this, you mentioned it was nationwide and that it covers a lot of different areas, like in terms of different leagues and different levels. To my knowledge, there isn't really that kind of a thing. So would it be fair to call this unique?
I would suggest that we are very unique. There are other sites in the U.S., for example. There's a site called NCSA. There's one called Be Recruited. But those sites are strictly for college-bound athletes. Roster Point is an all-encompassing hockey recruiting /website /player promotion site. We built in special features like messaging, notifications. On the messaging, players can talk to teams can talk to players right on the site. Player requests that are, a team can get very, very specific with what type of player they're looking for. 6-foot defenseman, left shot. And those player requests, then we have a built-in algorithm that matches teams with players as well.
And I think you said this or implied it, but what kind of age group does this cover?
Every age group from novice players to pro. Spring elite teams could use the site to find, potential elite players for their spring and summer tournaments. Minor hockey, AAA teams can use it. Obviously, it's for the rep player, the aspiring player that has the dream to take their career forward into junior and possibly pro, but any team can use it. We do have a special section now, as you alluded to, our CBS Platinum section, where CBS players that are identified by the CBS list or scouting list, they go into a special category where only the high-level teams, the CHL, the NCAA, the USHL, Tier 1, Tier 2 teams in the States, and Tier 2 Junior A, CHL, and the likes here. So we have something for everybody, if you will.
The things that I wonder about, when I look at it, I'm very interested in it. I love the idea of CVS because I think that's something that interests people. But for folks out there now who are interested in looking into it, what's the best way to get started? Just head to rosterpoint.com?
Yeah, it's really that simple, Alan. Just go to rosterpoint.com. You can sign up using your social accounts, or you can use your email and create a password. And it'll ask you if you're a player or a team. And you choose which one you are. We ask you some qualifying questions, and player will put in a little bit more data about his height, weight, and all that kind of stuff. And it usually takes about 5 minutes, and your profile is up and live. The most important thing for players, though, is they have to have video. Video is what sells the player. If they don't have video, we've talked to scouts, and a lot of them say they just go right past the profile. So for all the players listening, get your video on there. And we also will do that service for you. We will edit video and put it right on your profile for you. All they do is just need to contact us, and we can do that for them.
It sounds to me like a massive project, and as you say, it's a newer project, so it's going to take a little bit of time. But I can see this becoming vital for all different leagues in North America, but also in Europe. Is that kind of the goal?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, European players want nothing more than to get over here. I mean, look at the size of China. The NHL is tinkering over there with an exhibition game coming up. All of these players want to get to the hockey mecca of the world, and that is Canada. So we'd love to see this being a need as soon as possible, but that there's going to be a learning curve, and we have to teach parents and players about self-promotion. You go to university and you spend all kinds of money, and the first thing you do when you get home is you write a resume. And it should be the same in hockey. We should be having kids from a young age start to promote themselves. The scouts say they see everybody, but I built this site for a reason, and the reason is they don't see everybody, and CBS has proved that. So get your resume, get your profile on Roster Point, and we can start, making this become more of a need for players.
Thanks for this. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Alan. Appreciate the time.
All right, Bryan Brant from Roster Point. Check it out. It is very interesting. I because I'm a nerd and I know a lot about hockey history, the 67 expansion draft, two things around this sort of thing happened without the internet. A guy named Frank St. Marseille wrote, and I think his brother did it too, wrote a letter that served as a resume. He played for the Port Huron Flags, I think, in the International Hockey League, and he sent a letter to all the teams, and St. Louis actually signed him, and he went on to an NHL career. But the idea was, hey, I'm a really good player. I'm the best player in my league. And Lynn Patrick said years later that the letter, combined with the fact that Frank St. Marseille was always listed in the IHL scoring leaders in the Hockey News, combined to have him signed. So you never know with this. I mean, it's sort of like, in radio,